Okay, so today I wanted to go over an advanced ultralight fishing technique that is sure to catch you thousands more fish. My friends, you've seen me do this in the past, but today I wanted to make a video specifically about it because I know that this will help a lot of anglers. I'm talking about shooting a jig. Now, you've heard me talk about dock shooting in the past. You may have heard of dock shooting, but shooting a jig as a broad term can be used around a lot more than just docks, and that's really what I wanted to emphasize today. So whether you're fishing around overhanging trees or brush piles or whatever that may be, being able to shoot a jig precisely will allow you to hit those hard to reach places that oftentimes there are fish living in. So without further ado, we're going to talk about gear, we're going to talk about techniques, but most importantly, let's start fishing and see what we can catch. Let's go. So I'm starting around a bunch of docks that are going to be super easy to shoot a jig around. I honestly could get away with just casting, but for demonstration purposes, these will be good because you'll be able to see where my jig's going. When I say that I'm going to shoot a jig, what I mean is I am going to grab my hook behind the point, keyword behind the point. Do not grab over your hook because you will hook yourself. Grab it behind the point, and then you load up your rod tip like so. So you grab that jig a little bit higher than your reel generally, and then that way that gives you the ability to load up your rod tip, and then you let go of your jig and then let go of your line, and you can shoot it underneath overhanging cover. And that is highly, highly, highly effective. You know, for dock shooting specifically is one of the ones people talk about a lot. But like I said, I want you to know that this is a technique that I use for far more than just docks. You know, docks is definitely a big one, probably the primary one. Literally first cast, first shoot, I already got a fish. Crappie are here, my friends. The crappie are here. This is perfect. Oh gosh, I wasn't necessarily expecting one on this deeper dock right here. I knew that I'd catch some crappie today. Didn't take me long at all. Literally took me like 10 seconds. All right, see you, buddy. He totally interrupted me and I lost my train of thought. Essentially what I was showing is the fact that you can shoot your jig like so, and you can get it in really hard to reach places. And when you do that, that gives you the ability to present a lure to fish that just haven't seen a lure very often. Most people are just not comfortable doing this type of thing. They're gonna cast it around the docks. They may try to skip it under the docks, but I'm telling you, this is more effective because it allows you to shoot really, really tiny profiles much, much further than a traditional sidearm cast. As far as what I started with today, this is a 1/32 ounce mule jig. It's fire red with a cowpoke mule minnow 2.2. This is definitely a confidence crappie rig for me. That being said, you can totally use, you know, a little bit lighter jigs. You can use heavier jigs. I think a lot of people, when they talk about like dock shooting for crappie, they're probably using like a 1/16, maybe a 1/8. For me, I love to shoot super lightweight stuff, you know, 1/64, 1/32 ounce. I feel like those lightweights are such a great way to catch suspended fish that are hanging out under cover, whether that's a dock or a brush pile. If you use that lighter weight, a lot of times I feel like it slowly falls and it's just so hard for those fish to resist. And that's why I really like to start with a 1/32. And if I feel like the fish want something a little faster moving, I'll go up. If I feel like they want something a little slower moving, I'll go down. But I feel like the 1/32 is a great spot to be for like a mid-range weight. What the heck? Dadgummit. Oh, what the heck happened? I had something weird happen in there. I set the hook. I think my reel wasn't fully, I think my bail wasn't fully closed, and it created like a big slip. I thought I broke my line when I set the hook. That was super strange. I think my bail wasn't fully closed. Either way, I caught another fish. It's a dinky crappie, but it's a crappie nonetheless. For the sake of practice, let's just talk about this again. Again, I'm grabbing behind the point of the hook. The hook point I am never gonna keep underneath my fingers. Always keep it out. Then I'm just gonna create a load on my rod. I'm gonna point it where I want it, and I'm gonna let go and then let go of my line. And in that case, I shot it out there about 30 feet, got it right where I wanted it, and now I'm just gonna kind of pendulum this thing back underneath this dock and we'll see what happens. Now I do consider this a little bit more of an advanced technique. I don't know what this is gonna be. This might be a pike. This is not gonna be a crappie. If it is a crappie, it's an absolute behemoth, but I don't think so. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is a pike. I'm gonna say this is probably a pike. And he's behind that dock. Let's get him out from under there. Okay, this is where things get a little dangerous. Yeah, things are a little dangerous right now. Okay, there we go. I got him out. Now we try to get him towards open water. Okay. This is where we want to try to get him towards the open water. We've got him going. just guiding him out here. We're just gonna be patient. And he's staying down. I think this will be a pike. I don't know, he hasn't went on like a crazy run yet. Could be something else, actually. I don't know, it's hard to say. I just saw a tail kick, but I don't see what it was. Not sure what this is. Oh, it's a catfish. It's a catfish. Well, I guess you can dock shoot for catfish too. Did not expect that. That is my first catfish in quite some time. Oh gosh, I don't even remember how to handle these fish. That's a nice one, actually. Looky there, friends. Looky there, he's all beat up. I don't know what that's all about. He is kind of an ugly guy. He's got a messed up tail. Other than that, he looks great. I mean, he's like a nice fat fish. Oh, goodness. I wasn't planning to handle a fish like you today, mister. Okay, well, here we go. Let's get my jig first. Look at that, got it right in the top of the jaw. Let's just see if we can get it without even getting them out of the net. You know, catfish are cool too, but let's just see what we can do. Let's get our jig back. Can I have my jig back, sir? There we go. Got my jig back, although I totally mangled the hook. And now we've got this here catfish. We're gonna try to get him without getting a... There you go. Look at that guy. He's croaking at us. God, he's got some nasty looking stuff on him, but he's really fat. See ya, buddy. All right, well, that's one way to do it. Not what I was expecting today, my friends. Not what I was expecting. Never really know what you're gonna get when you use tiny stuff. Now, I destroyed my hook, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and get a different jig out. It was in a real hard part of that catfish's mouth, so I just mangled my hook, so this one's gonna be retired. Is what it is. Probably needed to retie anyways. He got me grinding up against a bunch of dock posts and stuff. Fortunately, I can still use the mule minnow. There's one. Man, fishing's actually relatively slow around this set of docks, so I might have to try somewhere else. But that one was super, super close to a dock post, so that tells me something. Pretty crappie, nothing big, but a beautiful fish. See you, buddy. All right. There's a fish. Ooh, it's a nice crappie right there. There you go. That's a nice crappie. He was much shallower than these other fish though. All right, nice little slab. See you, buddy. Oh, another one. There you go. Okay, they must be shallower than I thought. Surprising. Oh, that's a nice one. Holy smokes. There's some bruisers up shallow, man. Gotta love it. Chill out, buddy. Oh man, trying to be quiet. There's some people over there fishing. Don't need to draw too much attention to my nice slabs. Let's see how long this fish is. Just for fun. Oh wow, I'm good at estimating. I said 11.5 inches. He's just shy of 11.5. There you go, buddy. Well, let's see if he's got any more friends up there under that dock. Oh man, another one. I don't know what, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Holy smokes, that's a big crappie. Oh boys. I don't know how big it is, but it looks giant. Oh my gosh, that's a tank. Holy smokes. That's a tank. That's a tank. That's a tank slab. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that fish. I gotta check the length on this fish. That's an absolute tank. A master angler is 14 inches. This fish is just over 13.5. We'll turn her loose. See ya. Jeez, that was a stud. Another one. Oh my gosh, it's another tank. God, they're all sitting there in the same spot. That fish literally jumped. Since when do crappie jump and shake their head? That fish thinks he's a bass. My goodness. Man, he took that thing down. All right, don't need to measure that one. Not near as big, but it's a beauty nonetheless. See you, buddy. Another one. Another solid fish. Golly. Not as big as that one, but geez, it's another tank. You just love to see it, my friends. You just love to see it. Well, it took me a few minutes to find the crappie, but once I did, I found some nice ones. Now, honestly, I don't necessarily need the shooting technique right this instant because I could have probably caught those fish on a standard cast. That being said, as the sun gets higher in the sky, my guess is that dock shooting has become more and more important because I feel like these fish are gonna get tighter to cover and deeper underneath those shade lines. So at the bare minimum, I hope that you realize that shooting a jig can be highly, highly effective. Now, as far as what setup I'm using and what gear recommendations I have, number one, I am using a Dobbin Sierra trout and panfish. This is my 6'2" ultralight. I love this rod. It's a super fast action. I've got a size 1000 Shimano Nasi on there. I've got 6-pound J-braid on there with a 4-pound copolymer leader. All in all, I like this setup. It works quite well for me, but I have to be honest with you, I've used a lot of spinning outfits and I've been able to shoot a jig with all of them. So ultimately what I'm saying is you don't need a specific rod for it. I would say use what's comfortable for you. Depending on if you fish from bank or from a boat or from a kayak, it will probably vary in what length feels comfortable. For me, a 6'2" length feels pretty darn comfortable from the kayak because it allows me to precisely shoot my jig while it's still portable enough to get around stuff. So this is probably a good length for me, but I've used other ones and I've had success with them too. So I don't necessarily have a huge preference there. The one thing that I do have a preference about is the fast action. I do really like a fast action. What that allows me to do is to create a lot of pressure on that jig shot without having to bend way down the blank of my rod. And I feel like that gives me a tighter room for error. If I had a rod that was super flexible, I'd be bending way down the blank and it would be much harder to precisely land a jig. I feel like with that fast rod, I only have to bend the rod a little bit to create a lot of velocity coming off of the shot. And so I think that the fast rod gives me just a little bit more precision, a little bit more control, and it's definitely what's comfortable for me, let alone the fact that when I'm fishing a jig, I like a fast rod regardless. I do like the braid, although I gotta say you can use any line. I like the braid because it's low stretch and it just gives me the most control and the most velocity coming off of that shot. So I do personally prefer braid, but you can definitely get away with anything. Anyways, I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna go find some other docks. I'm gonna fish a little while longer and then we'll see what happens. If only this thing right here had more water on it. If this thing was sitting over 10, 12 foot of water, I'd be catching so many crappie out from under this. Unfortunately, I'm sitting in 5 right now, so the water up in there is probably less than like 3. I'll try it nonetheless, but I think the fish want just a little more depth. We'll see. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What is this? Oh, wow. What is this? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What is up there? What is this? What did I just hook? What would be living right there? Is this a pike? Gosh, dang it. It's probably another catfish, but it's got me around something. My line's not going side to side. It's around something. I might be screwed on this fish. I'm hoping that I can get it out, though. Oh my gosh, this is big. This is big. God, you'd think that I'd be sitting in 100 foot of water, as much line as it's pulling out. Where is it going? It's underneath that thing. I think it's around the post and out that way, probably. I gotta get it out there. What are you? What are you? Is this a carp? Is this a drum? What is this? This is awkward. This is awkward. This is awkward. This is not good. This is not how I want my kayak positioned. Oh goodness, keep pressure. Oh man, my line's gonna be shredded. This is why you use stuff that's abrasion resistant if you can. This braid can be a little sketchy. Oh man, my kayak's all sorts of whack. It's in a wacky position. I gotta do something here quick. There we go. That's what I needed to do. Oh my gosh, what is this? I bet you this is gonna be a drum. I don't know, it's hard to say. It's peeling lots of drag. It just feels like a lot of weight. I'm guessing drum, I could be wrong. It might be a carp. We'll see if we even find out. It's around this post.
and it is torching me. Yeah, I don't know. This might be a tough one to find out. This fish is liable to break my line. Oh man, this is so awkward. The way I'm fighting this fish, the angle of this kayak, everything is stacked up against me. Oh, this is awkward. There we go. I got him out. Oh my gosh. I got him out. Get that, get that, get that, get that. Get that. Okay, now let's put the paddle away. All right. Guys, 6-pound braid to a 4-pound copolymer leader. You don't have to have a super heavy line to catch big fish. You just have to have the experience to play them right. This is a giant, whatever it is. It's another stinking catfish. I said earlier I didn't care if I caught another catfish, and what do? Catch another catfish that's bigger than the first one. My goodness. My goodness. What is happening today? Why is this happening today? I mean, hey, I'll take it. I'm not mad about it. I want to be clear. It's just a lot of work to get these things untangled. Oh my goodness. And my line is so slimy. It's unbelievable. Man, I like never catch catfish, and today I've caught 2 and they're both big. There we go. Hey, hook's in good shape. I didn't have to take the pliers to it. There, we're just gonna lip him. Look at that. Look at that fish. He's biting me. All right, buddy. See you later. Jeez Louise. Ah, why? God, you just never know what you're gonna get, folks. Oh man, you just never know what you're gonna get. This is why I like that copolymer leader. I find that it's really abrasion resistant. I don't even feel any abrasion on this line, and that fish had me up against a post the entire time. I'm gonna pick up this other rod for the last couple minutes of today's video. I might make a second video today. If I do, it's gonna be about this duck at crappie slayer, so stay tuned for that. I've been meaning to make a video on this, but all in all, man, this trip has been so good so far. The fishing has been great for crappie, but then the bonus catfish is obviously a lot of fun. Good times. Let's see if we can cast this thing around these docks right here and see what happens. Here's another fish. Okay. Is there crappie back here? Yes, there are. How about that? I switched rods and I caught another crappie. This dock's got enough depth on it. I figured I gotta try it. And there you go. All right, he's bleeding a little. Let's get him back. See you, buddy. All right. That's a big fish. I don't know what this is. You're kidding me. It's gotta be another catfish. I'm wondering if these catfish are spawning. Different rod, same story. It's actually a really pretty catfish. That's a really healthy one. He's a lot smaller, but he's beautiful. See you, buddy. Well, at the bare minimum, you now know that shooting a jig can be highly effective for crappie and random catfish, but I hope you'll take my word for the fact that it can be much, much more than that, my friends. This truly is a multi-species technique. Anytime you've got fish hanging out underneath something that requires an accurate cast, I'm telling you, shooting a jig, it is the way to go. Ever since I picked it up, I have caught so many fish I would have never caught before, and I really, really am happy that I have been using this technique because it has been paying off. I highly recommend practicing. Practice makes perfect. It's gonna take a little bit of time. You're probably gonna lose a few jigs along the way, but once you dialed in, I'm telling you, you will be thankful that you did. Make sure to drop a comment below if you have any questions. Otherwise, please click subscribe if you like today's video. It does truly mean the world to me. We'll catch you next time.